6 AM in the morning, and yes, I got up to try and get myself down. I saw what was going on in Australia, I saw what's going on in Singapore. I turned up. The queues are horrific, beyond horrific. But more than that, about 150 interesting characters turned up at the front of the queue about half an hour ago and just stood there because they've decided they're going to be having watches and nobody's going to stop them because try to if you can, I think is the message. They're going to stand there. There's a big, let's say, gang of them, and they're not moving. The people at the front of the queue are extremely upset, but realise they have no power to do anything unless they fancy get themselves into a whole mess with a whole gang. So yeah, the flippers are here. I thought 6M would be a really good starting point because, you know, why not? And what we've got is the queue goes all the way around the block here in Carnaby Street and all the way back to the front. So it's now 8:30 in the morning, about 30 minutes to the store's opening. Forget the queue, everybody's now decided just to congregate outside the shop. Nobody knows what's going on. The advice from the police to Swatch, I just heard, is they've advised them not to open the store, that there's only 150 pieces available unofficially in the shop. That's the rumour going around the queue. But you would think they would be telling people going around the queue just to go home but no one's moving. And now you've got a whole bunch of police hanging around. They are clueless. They don't know what they're going to do with this. And equally, these guys have all decided to ambush the front of the store, hoping to get in. Well, it certainly looks like I'm not going to be getting a watch today, but it's been a very interesting morning. I've really enjoyed queuing actually and meeting people. That's been quite fun. Darren from BQ is over at Oxford Street. He's not having much luck either. Where we are here, it seems that we can walk around the block and just see what's going on. So you get a real sense of there's going to be a mess coming in about half an hour's time.
I know there's been talk that there's like 1,000, there's not, there's 100. I've been inside, spoken to the manager myself.
So just a little update, a police officer has just come round to tell us that there's only 100 pieces in the store in total, and basically, yeah, nothing to see here, try and clear the queue. Also, Swatch UK have now called in extra security. Their police are going around telling everybody to basically, you know, move on, go home, unless you're just here to see the fun and the chaos that will erupt. The store opening has been delayed by half an hour as Swatch UK have called in extra security. So just a quick update, it's 9:30, the door should have opened half an hour ago. There is a swarm and a mob of people out the front, and the bottom line is that nobody, it feels like, is getting in. In Oxford Street, they have said there were 270 watches. They told everybody to go home and they'll be online and available in a week. And so that's it, pack it up, going home, empty-handed, and we'll just look at the pictures for a few days and then order online. Literally, that was like, I kid you not, it was like a scene out of Top Boy. The poor people, Spence, who had queued overnight They slept out
there
from 5 o'clock the following evening.
No.
They got there, they camped out. I got there at 6:20 in the morning, and it was a really nice, orderly queue, and everything was good. And then all of a sudden, this I can only describe as a gang turned up, and they walked to the front, the very front of the shop, and just said to the bloke at the front, "We're now the front of the queue." And basically, led by intimidation, I honestly, without going too far, say one of them pulled up his shirt to show what looked like the top of a tool. And it was all, it was all getting very, very tense. The police turned up and stood right back, didn't really want anything to do with it. And I think at that point...
What did they serve? A handful of people?
They served 3 people in the entire morning before. The police told them to shut it down. They couldn't control the crowds. And... if anybody watched my live stream the other day will know that I went into the SWAT shop a couple of days before just to say hello to Sinead, who's the manager there, and just to get the gauge of what they thought they were going to have stock-wise.
To know what time.
And she said, her words to me were, "We are going to have plenty of stock for everybody." And she told me about the previous drop that they'd done where they'd had a BAPE collaboration and people arrived an hour before. So if it were 9 o'clock opening, they're expecting 8. They did not have a clue. I mean, it just shows you how...
These went
watch
viral,
market.
Gav. Like they were everywhere. They were on over WhatsApp, over Facebook, over Instagram. They were everywhere.
I mean, viewers, there's just one thing I want to tell you. We will never have a queue. You make an appointment. You come to BQ. I'll serve you. You won't have to queue.
Well,
all
more
night.
importantly, no one's ever going to buy a Swatch from you either.
Correct. Absolutely.
If anybody is thinking about, I have got plenty of them, plenty of swatches. Do not buy anything off eBay for this swatch.
No.
Is they going to be available?
MoonSwatch. They are going to be readily available. I couldn't help myself. I went back this morning. Actually, just to check the staff were okay because it was very intimidating.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of
Did you go to
aggravation.
both stores or just?
No, I just went to Carnaby Street, and they told me that it was very intimidating, very frightening. The people at the front door were it was all very frightening. They sold 3 watches. The 3 watches were being offered outside for anywhere between £1,400 and £2,000. I don't think any of them sold.
They were really undercover about it. They're quite discreet. Yeah.
Yeah, really discreet. Literally right outside the front door. But I've seen some of them that are selling on eBay. I know a few have sold, but all these that are selling at 60 grand. Anybody can advertise anything on eBay.
Yeah.
And you've still got to complete the purchase.
So just wait a week or two. And
I think the biggest, funniest thing that made me laugh over the whole weekend is somebody said that with eBay and maybe some of the other sites, you have a 14-day returns policy. And if you buy the watch, return it after 14 days or 13 days because ultimately the flippers are going to be stuffed with these and that's the bottom line. They're going to be readily available.
Pay the money and then return. Yeah.
Exactly. Who else is doing a live show? Give them an upvote. Yes, guys, if you are watching, do give us an upvote. You can't believe this could happen in a civilized society, Nicola says, and he's absolutely right. But it wasn't just limited to here.
It was
all over the world.
There was scraps and arguments and rows. Australia, Singapore.
Rome was massive.
Jacob Kendall told me there was a bit of a fracas going up at his local. I mean, we're talking about Swatch,
for goodness sakes. Yeah.
Having said that, I will still be getting one,
but
but I've kind of lost the impetus for doing that kind of stuff.
And
especially as
you've got to wait for them to come.
Yeah, especially as there's so much going on in the world.
But you're going to get one because obviously they have said they are releasing them.
They're mass
not
produced,
limited,
aren't they? It's not.
They're not limited. There's no numbers. They're mass produced, and they will be widely available.
Yeah.
And by the way, they'll be widely available for years to come as well.
Yeah,
if you look at any of the old collabs that they've done, they're still available on the Swatch store now. Yeah. You can buy your bits and pieces. I did say to Russell, the Mad Watch Collector, I would try and get him one. I had a couple of requests and I was like, no problem. I'm going to be getting 11. What colour do you want? No worries. Yeah, it's an absolute fail. And actually, I as much as I wasn't too bothered by 9:30, I just left. People were still adamantly queuing that they didn't want to leave. And the watches did go on Sunday. They kind of organised the queue a little bit on the Sunday. And
on Sunday?
And I believe so. And they got rid of their sort of 170 watches. Watch Wide Web says, what surprised me about the London launch is how early the mobs and gangsters seem to wake up. Actually, they'd probably not gone to bed. I think they'd all literally just driven
the streets and just
absolutely. Yeah, it was crazy.